All right, folks, how we know? Mr. Carter here, ready to do Homelink 713. Go ahead and put your name on this if you haven't yet already, and let's begin. So, we are going to be working with a line plot here and gathering the data for that and answering some questions about it. So, Homelink has two sheets. So, we have one here with the line plot, and then on the back here we have some questions to answer. So, make sure you have both sheets for that lesson's homework. All right, at the beginning of the year, Mrs. Carey wanted to give each student in her class a new pencil with the quote-unquote welcome to fourth grade written on it. 1 month later, the class measured their pencils to the nearest 1/8 of an inch. So here's the data they collected. So these are all the pencil lengths to the nearest 1/8 of an inch. So we need to plot the data on the set line points. So let's look at our data and think about a title. So to me, it makes sense to have the title be something like pencil lengths in Mrs. Carey's class. Okay, and down here it would be a title for what we're going to end up putting here, which is our measurements. So what we're going to end up putting here is our measurements, the length of the pencils, to the nearest, and we could put here nearest 1/8 of an inch. Okay, so because if we look closely, all the measurements are again to the 1/8 of an inch. So that's why we need to specify here that it's to the nearest 1/8 of an inch. So now we need to plug in here our measurements. So what we need to do to figure out the shortest measurement is to just basically look at all our data and see which length is the shortest. So we have a pencil here with 1 7/8 of an inch, and that would be the smallest pencil length we have, or the shortest pencil length. So we're going to start here our graph with 1 7/8 of an inch. And then basically after that, what we're going to do is just go up 1/8 of an inch, because again, that's what we're measuring to. So after 1 7/8 of an inch would be 1 8/8, which we know is 2 holes. So then we just go to 2 1/8. I'm writing very small because they don't give you much space to add those in. So 2 1/8. Then it would be 2 2/8, 2 3/8, 2 4/8, which we know is a half, 2 5/8, 2 6/8, 2 7/8, and again we're going to be at 2 8/8, which we know is 3. Then we're going to go 3 1/8, 3 2/8, 3 3/8, and lastly 3 4/8. So now what we need to do is plot all our data. So I'm going to go one square at a time and plug it in. So we're going to go 2 1/8. So I'm going to cross that out and put our x here at 2 1/8. 3 1/8. So I'm going to cross it out and put it immediately right there. 2 7/8. Put our x there. 2 4/8. Cross it out. Okay. Okay, so what I did is I just fast forwarded the video just to show you you can finish that line plot, and once you do, it looks something like this. So we have 1 at 1 7/8, 1 at 2, 1 and 2 1/8. There are none at 2 2/8. We have 2 3/8 with 2. 2 4/8, 2 5/8 both have 3. 2 6/8 has 2. The one with the most is the 2 7/8, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those. 1 at 3, 3 1/8 has 2, along with 2, 3 2/8 and 3 3/8, they also have 2. And then the longest pencil is 3 4/8 inch long, and there's only one of those. All right, so now what we need to do is answer the questions using our plot. So if we look at the second page, we look at number 1. It's asking you how many students have a pencil that is shorter than 2 7/8 inches. So we got to look at our line plot. So we're going to 2 7/8. Now it's asking for shorter than 2 7/8. So we can't count these because those are exactly 2 7/8. We want what's shorter than. So we're going to count every x to the left of that. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 is our answer for that. Okay. So now, what is the most common pencil length? Well, that would be, again, here, it's 2 7/8. So that would be the answer here, 2 7/8. That's the most common pencil length. Now, 3A, how many pencils are less than 2 2/8 inches long? So we've got to look at 2 2/8. And what is less than that? Well, that would be, there are 3 pencils shorter than that. So that's the answer there. But now we need to do the next one, which was what is their combined weight? Oh, sorry, length. What is their combined length? So we need to add the lengths for these 3 measurements here. So we've got to do 1 7/8. That's the length of one of those. And then the next one was 2 plus 2 1/8. So now we've got to add those 3 together. So I'm just going to clump my wholes together. So it's 1 plus 2 plus another 2. Then I'm going to add my fractions together. That's 7/8 plus 1/8. So I know that 1 and 2 and 2 is 5. I'm going to continue my work up here. So that's 5 plus 7/8 and 1/8 would be 8/8. Well, I know that 8/8 is a whole, so I'm just going to go 5 plus 1, and that would be a total of 6 inches for all 3 of those pencils. All right, for A, how many pencils are between 2 7/8 and 3 2/8 inches long? So again, that was 2 7/8 and 3 3 2/8. So 2 7/8 and 3 2/8. So again, they're asking for between those, not including those. So there's only 3 pencils in between those two, not. So let me show you. So yeah, again, 3 2/8 is over here, 2 7/8 is over here. So between those two, there are only 3 pencils. So again, the answer is 3 pencils for that. Now again, they're asking you what's the combined length of those. So if we look, it's 3 plus 3 1/8 twice. So we're going to go 3 plus 3 1/8, and there's a second pencil that's 3 1/8 long. So we've got to add that again. So I'm going to combine my wholes again, 3 plus 3 plus 3, and I'm going to combine my fractions, 1/8 plus 1/8. 3 plus 3 plus 3 is 9, plus 1/8 and 1/8 is 2/8. So that would be 9 2/8. That's the combined length. How long is the longest pencil? Well, if we look again, the longest pencil is 3 4/8 right here. And how long is the shortest pencil? Well, that one's way over here, and that was 1 7/8. So what is the combined length of the longest and the shortest pencil? So again, we've got to add 3 4/8, which is our longest pencil, plus 1 7/8, which is our shortest pencil. So I'm going to add my wholes first, 3 plus 1, and then my fractions, 4/8 plus 7/8. So 3 plus 1 is, I'm going to continue my work up here, 3 plus 1 is 4. 4/8 plus 7/8, so 7 plus 4 is 11/8. So again, we need to break that apart, this top-heavy fraction or this improper fraction, into a whole and a fraction. So we're going to go 8/8 is a whole, plus if we did 3/8, so 8, 9, 10, 11. So there's our whole, and then we're left with 3/8. So we have 4 plus a whole plus our 3/8. So that would be, let me just put our answer here, 5 3/8 is our answer for that one. What is the difference now between in length and the longest and the shortest pencil? So now we've got to subtract those two. So when I subtract, again, I like to stack fractions. 3 4/8 take away 1 7/8. So 4/8 take away 7/8. We can't do that. So we need to trade. So I'm going to trade 1, 2. And now we're going to have a whole, which is 8/8 added to the 4/8 that are already there. So 8 plus 4 is 12. So that's 12/8. Now we can go 12/8 take away 7/8, which is 5/8. And 2 take away 1 is 1. So our answer is 1 and 5/8. All right. Well, our practice down here is just again a review of adding and subtracting mixed numbers. So I'm going to go ahead and have you try those on your own, see how you do with that, and let me know if you have questions. Have a good night.